Ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, scholars and dignitaries, welcome to another episode. Welcome to my world. So, I want to speak with you honestly today about a real problem surfacing across the world, gambling, a devastating problem for millions of people and their families. I really want you to know what a terrible problem this has grown into, and it's not just an economic problem. No, it's become a horrific quality of life problem, and it's a real crisis for our families and our community. Now, our society has a high rate of crime, a high rate of divorce, high rates of child abuse, academic underachievement, teen pregnancy, and drug abuse. Our jails are full, our schools are faltering, and our families are failing. Now, given this background, this new introduction of gambling is contraindicated. Gambling is a powerful risk factor, a known risk factor, and too often it leaves broken lives, broken families, and broken communities in its path. Compulsive gambling leads to many thousands of personal and family bankruptcies each year. It leads to lost homes, broken families, lost savings accounts, lost college funds, and to a dramatic increase in crime, including embezzlement at business. It's strongly correlated with mental illness and also seriously affects the spouse, children, parents, and friends of the problem gambler. Some states have reported that divorce tripled after the introduction of casinos. Others reported an explosion in domestic violence. And for every dollar that gambling contributes in taxes, it usually costs the taxpayers at least $3 or more because of major increases in the welfare system, mental health system, and the criminal justice system. The ultimate cost in broken families and disintegrated communities from gambling never even comes close to justifying it as a means to raise revenue. Gambling is exploding across America, and America is not ready for the consequences. About 5% of gamblers are caught up in an addiction every bit as powerful as drug addiction. And one of our major concerns is that much more than the others, this addiction is a hidden addiction, and this addiction is generally an accepted addiction. The National Council on Problem Gambling has found this to be true and has also found that pathological gamblers have a suicide rate 20 times higher than non-gamblers. Last year, gamblers lost $160 billion to the gambling industry. They made more money than the profits of both the movie industry, the oil companies, General Motors, Walmart, and the healthcare industry combined. And again, where do these winnings come from? They're losses, losses from the people, incredible losses, not a few dollars here and there, but a few hundred or a few thousand each time they enter the casino. P.T. Barnum, the great showman and creator of the greatest show on earth, once said, "There's a sucker born every minute." He was talking about luring people in to see his circus, his carnival show, and his side attractions. But whether he knew it or not, he was right on target. There is a sucker born every minute, and like a flock of sheep being led to the slaughter, people are easily led to gambling establishments to lose their money. In fact, to freely choose to just give it away. Amazing. And we're not just talking about the rich who have disposable income, but about people who depend on that money to pay their rent, to pay the utilities, to support their children, to put food on the table. You don't need to lose $100,000 to feel the hurt from gambling. Most people can't even lose $100 without feeling a financial sting. And the casinos don't care. They will suck as much money as possible out of you before you leave and then invite you back with a smile and the old charm, well, better luck next time. So, what are some of the problems with gambling? After all, it's a simple recreation, right? Like going to the movies. Well, the difference is that gambling often leads to addiction. It is an addiction. In America alone, compulsive gamblers have increased from 10 to 20 million over these past few years, with the greatest increase in those states that have legalized casino gambling. And gambling has increased globally. It's spread all over the world. With gambling, domestic violence increases, child abuse increases, family dysfunction and divorce increases. There are increases in personal bankruptcy and home foreclosures, unpaid bills, utilities, and telephone, and so on. Loss of savings accounts, college funds, and pensions, and not simply discretionary monies. Depression and suicide increases. People have nervous breakdowns, mood lability, and anxiety disorders. There are higher rates of compulsive gambling and alcohol and drug abuse. Higher relapse rates for alcohol and drugs and for recovery from compulsive gambling. And higher rates of youth gamblers and higher rates of at risk youth with associated problems. All states that have legalized gambling have found subsequent dramatic increases in the incidence of compulsive gamblers and in crime, family dysfunction, divorce, bankruptcy, and mental illness. They find broken families, disintegrated communities, and a weaker society from gambling that never even comes close to justifying it as a means to raise revenue. And by the way, you can't win at gambling. The odds are always stacked against you. And once you've fallen behind, it's virtually impossible to catch up, much less go ahead. Do you know why? The answer is called the laws of probability. These aren't complicated laws, but believe me, the casino employs mathematicians who know them very well and test their formulas extensively. The casino knows every game on the floor and the probabilities of win loss and the estimated revenue that should be generated from that game on that very day. The best example yet, Einstein, who had an IQ of between 160 and 180, the physicist that discovered the theory of relativity. He tackled the problem of winning at roulette, a very simple game. You bet red or you bet black. And his conclusion was, quote, you cannot beat a roulette table unless you steal money from it. And to this day, there are people coming up with systems to win at gambling, but they're all wrong. Except for an incidental win, gambling is always a losing proposition. And here's how you can tell. Take a guess. Which line is longer in the casino? The line at the cashier booth to collect all your winnings, or the line at the ATM machines to take more money out of your bank account to gamble away? The lines at the ATM machines are long and nonstop. But if you walk through a casino, you'll see lights flashing and bells ringing. It makes you think everyone is winning, but it's all optics, a false narrative to make you think people are winning. But out of 1,000 slot machines, if there are any winning, the vast majority are returning only pennies on the dollar. It's like the slot machines. The algorithms are set for positive intermittent reinforcement for either the best variance of high frequency, low payout wins or low frequency, high payout wins to keep you gambling. They give you 2 or 3 coins to make you think you're winning, but you're not. They make you think you almost hit the jackpot, but you won't. They want to keep you at the slot machine. Again, they employ some of the strongest shapers of human behavior. The slot machine is not a game, it's a computer. And while it isn't yet artificial intelligence, believe me, it's a computer that is studying your preferred method of play to keep you playing for what the casinos call maximum time on device and maximum money in their vault. Robert De Niro said it best in Casino, quote, in the casino, the cardinal rule is to keep them playing and keep them coming back. The longer they play, the more money they lose. In the end, we get it all. You see, some casinos have as a goal $1 million a day in profit, and they don't make that quota if you win, so you're not going to win. It's not luck, it's the laws of probability and particular strategies that always favor the casino no matter which game you decide to play. Don't fall for the smoke and mirrors, the 3 card Monte routine, the perfect scam, the deceptions. It's optics to make you want to freely gamble your money away. So, with gambling, we see increase in divorce, crime, and embezzlement. Domestic violence increased as much as 80%. Crime increases as much as 136%. Child abuse rose by 42%, and I know child neglect was even higher. And, like all addictions, gambling has definite withdrawal signs, like craving to gamble, irritableness if you can't gamble, and definitely when you lose, insomnia and headaches, even anxiety and panic attacks, serious ones. In fact, there are a lot of side effects to gambling, some which you may have experienced yourself, including anger, rage, clinical depression, broken promises, inability to stop, gambling more than you know you should have, and so on. So, where does that leave us? Gambling is becoming the norm in society. In fact, one study showed that problem gambling is now more common for adults than even alcoholism, and that's an eye opener. Listen, I don't gamble, and the bottom line is that you shouldn't either. Why even take that chance? Why take a risk? Not on a $1 bet, but on the possibility, in fact, a probability that you can become addicted and that gambling will destroy your family and ruin your life. I've seen it time and again. Finally, if you do have a gambling problem, reach out for help. Call a local counseling agency, or better yet, call Gamblers Anonymous, a 12-step program that has helped more people to recover from their gambling addiction than anything else. That program, GA, works. Hey, be safe, be well, don't catch that gambling fever, and may God bless.